Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. Hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. This channel is home of at least one college football video every single day. And yes, Golden Blue Dude is battling COVID, but I'm okay. I'm well enough to keep doing my videos every single day because this is what I love to do. It's kind of helping me get through it as well. So today I wanted to talk about the conference championships and the New Year's Six bowl bids along with the playoffs and how I think it will turn out. So here are the conference championships. First, we have the Group of Five championships. Conference USA, Western Kentucky against UTSA. Western Kentucky is 8-4. UTSA picked up their first loss on the road to North Texas, so they're now 11-1. And the line has come out. Western Kentucky is actually a 1-point favorite. I don't think this really is going to factor into the New Year's Six bowl bid because I think UTSA won't be ranked and a Conference USA champion won't be ranked. So no Conference USA team will make a New Year's Six bowl. The Mountain West, Utah State against San Diego State. Utah State 9-3, San Diego State 11-1. San Diego State's a 5.5-point favorite. Now San Diego State, they could make a New Year's Six bowl bid. So I will be talking about them here in just a minute. The MAC championship, Kent State against Northern Illinois. Kent State 7-5, Northern Illinois 8-4. Kent State, surprisingly, a 2.5-point favorite. But I don't think either one of these two teams will be ranked, so I don't think they're going to factor into the New Year's Six bowl bid. Remember, it's the highest ranked champion that gets that New Year's Six bowl bid. And I think Cincinnati makes the playoffs, so there is an opening for the highest ranked champion. But I don't think the MAC will factor into that. The Sun Belt Championship, Appalachian State against Louisiana. Appalachian State 10-2. Louisiana 11-1. Appalachian State a 3-point favorite. That one's kind of surprising. I thought Louisiana would be the favorite. They could play a factor into who gets into the New Year's Six bowl bid because whoever wins that game could be ranked and could be the highest Group of Five champion that's ranked. And they could get that New Year's Six bowl bid. And then, of course, the AAC championship. Houston at Cincinnati. Yes, the game will be played at Cincinnati. Houston 11-1. Cincinnati 12-0. Cincinnati a 10.5-point favorite. Of course, I think Cincinnati's going to win the game, and I think when they do win, they will get into the playoffs. And that's what I think opens up the door for the next highest ranked Group of Five champion to get a New Year's Six bowl bid. Now on to the Power 5 championships. First up, the Pac-12. Oregon against Utah. Oregon 10-2, Utah 9-3. Utah the 3-point favorite. Of course, we already know the game that was played at Utah, Utah absolutely destroyed Oregon 38-7. So Oregon's actually lucky that Utah's only a 3-point favorite. Maybe this game will be closer. Maybe Oregon can pull off the mild upset. The ACC championship, Pitt against Wake Forest. Both of these teams are 10-2. Pitt is the 3-point favorite. I think that's going to be one of the better Power 5 championship games out there. I'll be watching that one for sure. The Big 12 championship. This one has playoff implications. Baylor 10-2 against Oklahoma State 11-1. Oklahoma State 5-point favorite. If Oklahoma State wins that game, I do think they have a really good shot of making the playoffs. I don't think they're still a lock, but it greatly increases their chances of making the playoffs. The Big Ten championship, Michigan against Iowa. Michigan 11-1, Iowa 10-2. Michigan the 10.5-point favorite. Of course, if Michigan wins the game, they're definitely in the playoffs. But even if they lose the game, they could still make a New Year's Six bowl. Then, of course, the SEC championship, Alabama against Georgia. Alabama is 11-1, Georgia 12-0. Georgia only a 6.5-point favorite. That one's kind of surprising. I expected them to be at least a 10-point favorite. I think when, not if, when Alabama loses to Georgia, they're still going to make a New Year's Six bowl bid. And, of course, Georgia, win, lose, or draw, they're making the playoffs no matter what. So here's how I think the most likely scenario for the playoffs is going to turn out. I do think Georgia will hammer Alabama. I mean, beat them by 3 touchdowns or more. So I'm going to give them the number 1 seed. I think Michigan takes care of Iowa, so I'm going to give them the number 2 seed. I do think Cincinnati takes care of Houston at home, so I'm going to give Cincinnati a 3 seed. And for the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to say that Oklahoma State does beat Baylor and grabs that 4 seed. So the 1 seed Georgia playing the 4 seed Oklahoma State. I'm going to say that's going to be the Cotton Bowl. And then the 2 seed Michigan against the 3 seed Cincinnati. And I'm going to say that's in the Orange Bowl. Now, for the other 4 New Year's Six bowls. For the Rose Bowl, well, I'm going to say the loser of Michigan, Iowa. Iowa is going to be the loser. That's what I'm predicting. I'm going to have them going to the Rose Bowl. They're going to play the winner of Oregon-Utah. That's still a toss-up. I know Utah hammered Oregon, but that was at Utah, and it's extremely difficult to beat a really good team twice. So I'm going to say Iowa versus Oregon or Utah. Whoever wins that game, that's going to be the matchup. Personally, I'd rather see Iowa and Oregon. I think that's a more interesting matchup. Now, for the Sugar Bowl, this is where I think Alabama lands. They'll be the SEC runner-up. And I also think this is where Baylor lands because they'll be the Big 12 runner-up. So Alabama versus Baylor in the Sugar Bowl could be a pretty good game. Baylor's a pretty good team, and Alabama is having a letdown year. And will Alabama want to actually be there? Baylor could pull the upset if Alabama is kind of still licking their wounds, hoping for a shot to get to the playoffs, in which they were ultimately denied. Now, for the Peach Bowl, this is where I think the winner of the ACC championship is going to be. So either Wake Forest or Pitt. And I think that they could play either Ole Miss or Ohio State, because that's going to be an at-large bid right there. So I think it'll be either Ole Miss or Ohio State that will win that at-large. So I'm going to say, the winner of Wake Forest, Pitt, the ACC championship, will either play Ole Miss or Ohio State. Personally, I think I would like to see a Wake Forest-Ole Miss matchup or a Pitt versus Ohio State matchup. Those are the two best matchups that I like out of those four teams. And finally, the Fiesta Bowl. I think this is where Notre Dame will land, as long as Oklahoma State beats Baylor and gets into the playoffs. Remember, Notre Dame could still sneak into the playoffs, especially if Oklahoma State loses the Big 12 championship. So, assuming that Oklahoma State wins, Notre Dame will get into the Fiesta Bowl, and they will play the highest-ranked next Group of 5 champion, because I have Cincinnati get into the playoffs. So that would be either Louisiana or San Diego State. So it would be Notre Dame versus either Louisiana or San Diego State. And out of that matchup, I would like Notre Dame and Louisiana, because I think Louisiana has been forgotten about. They still have a great team. Their only loss was that first loss at the beginning of the season against Texas. And ever since then, they've won 11 straight. It could be 12 straight if they beat Appalachian State in the Sun Belt Championship. So still, a lot of pieces are still up in the air. This is my best guess, and who knows, maybe technically I'm wrong about things where, this team literally couldn't go to this bowl. I haven't researched it all that much, but that's my best guess. So the playoffs, 1 Georgia versus number 4 Oklahoma State in the Cotton Bowl. Number 2 Michigan against number 3 Cincinnati in the Orange Bowl. In the Fiesta Bowl, I like Notre Dame versus Louisiana, but it could be San Diego State as well. In the Rose Bowl, I like Iowa versus Oregon, but it also could be Iowa versus Utah. In the Sugar Bowl, I like Alabama versus Baylor. I think that's an underrated matchup. Could be a great game. And then in the Peach Bowl, it could be either Wake Forest or Pitt, the winner of the ACC championship, versus either Ole Miss or Ohio State. I like Wake Forest versus Ole Miss or Pitt versus Ohio State. So y'all let me know what you think about the New Year's 6 bowls that I have lined up in the playoffs. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.